It's very important in a political campaign when the news cycle presents a particular issue that a lot of people are talking about or focusing on, such as Donald Trump's relationship with the military. It's really important if you're part of this campaign to try to amplify the message. VoteVets, a veterans organization, has done that in really compelling fashion. Here is our ad of the week from VoteVets. Watch.
We've got Trump on the run, scared. His insults about service members catching up with him. He's panicked. Losers and suckers, he called us, confirmed. Refusing to be seen with wounded warriors because it makes him queasy. Refusing to salute the fallen of World War I because he, quote, doesn't understand what was in it for them. Because he was afraid his dye job might run in the rain faster than he ran to a quack doctor when the draft board called his number. Comparing his sexploitations with the likes of Jeffrey Epstein to the sacrifice of those who went in his place to Vietnam. Now, maybe the greatest insult of all, turning a military cemetery visit into a political stunt with cameras in tow. In Section 60, one of the most hallowed acres of all, and when an Army civilian official told them they were breaking federal law that bans politics and campaign cameras, Trump thugs verbally and physically assaulted her. Disgusting. Donald Trump, the grave markers veterans and military families drop a knee to, are not your political props. They represent the heroes we served alongside, men and women you could never measure up to, friends who lived and died by the oath we all swore to uphold, something you will never understand, and why we're doing our damnedest to make sure no service member ever has to salute you as Commander-in-Chief ever again.
Wow. That was, I mean, I have no words can add to that. That was a incredibly powerful ad. And you can just feel the anger and frustration that has been seething up through veterans and people who care about Arlington National Cemetery. And that ad puts it in broader perspective. It points to the dishonor that so many people feel they have if they have to salute a Donald Trump, given that he didn't serve, given the way he's treated the military, given the allegations that he told his chief of staff that people who were buried at Arlington National Cemetery were suckers and losers. I mean, Donald Trump's relationship with the military has long been one of controversy. Trump is now trying to hide all of that. Donald Trump is trying to say, oh, no, I love the military and I support the families, except he really doesn't, because he didn't support the Afghan soldiers' families, the U.S. soldiers killed in Afghanistan. He didn't support them last year when they marked the anniversary of the bombing. He didn't support them the year before when they marked the anniversary of the bombing. Only now, 10 weeks before an election, is Donald Trump making this appeal to veterans and to the military. And so VoteVets knows better and is saying, no, we're going to call BS. And Donald Trump should not be our commander-in-chief, that Donald Trump is not honorable. And oh, by the way, there have been some vets this week that pointed out that, you know, never mind Donald Trump's horrific things that he's said about the military. Donald Trump is a convicted felon. He was impeached by the House twice. He supported an insurrection against democracy. He's an adjudicated rapist. He's been found guilty, found liable with his business dealings. So for all of those reasons, you have a lot of veterans saying Donald Trump should have never been invited to Arlington in the first place. Well, okay, he was invited by Speaker Mike Johnson to lay a wreath, but then Donald Trump and his followers and his thugs disregarded Arlington National Cemetery officials who said, no, this is hallowed ground, Section 60. You can't take a photograph. We'll take a photograph of you. No. Donald Trump wanted his campaign photographer to do it. And so they pushed, allegedly, this staffer. And that's the person who America wants as commander-in-chief? I don't think so. And I think veterans are more fired up and riled up over this incident at Arlington National Cemetery because it symbolizes so much more about Donald Trump that veterans are infuriated about and angry about. So, yes, George Conway ads are cool. We did feature a George Conway ad actually on our ad of the week last week. The psychopac.org, they're doing some remarkable work. Bone spurs afflict heels, right? Look, Donald Trump got out of serving in Vietnam. Navy veteran here, #mad. That is the 4 words of the week. Navy veteran, Army veteran, Marine veteran, whatever it is. Veteran here, mad. I have heard from more veterans, more people who served in the military this week than I've heard from in a long time. And they are, to a person, infuriated. And it's not about whether this was intentional or unintentional. The standard is this is hallowed ground. And when you are warned, as Donald Trump was warned, you need to respect the protocols. You need to respect the decorum of Arlington National Cemetery. Don't take pictures. And he does it anyway. It's just sick. It's just sick. I mean, I think a lot of Americans would have been willing to give Donald Trump a pass if he didn't know. He's laying a wreath and the family says, hey, come on with me to Section 60. We want to go visit the tombstones, the graves of our sons and daughters and brothers and sisters. And of course, Donald Trump's going to go. But to demand then that he take pictures and to be told, no, you can't take pictures. This is decorum. You can't do anything for your campaign. And to do it anyway, it's remarkable. It is truly remarkable. And it's disgusting. And I think this is going to hurt Donald Trump even more than he and J.D. Vance know. They can say whatever they want about it, but this goes much farther than I think a lot of other things have. And it's a visceral representation of why so many people in the military do not trust Donald Trump and feel that Donald Trump only cares about the military to the extent that they can be used to promote him, that they can be used to help him with his power. Okay, here's another ad that the Trump campaign is facing, and this comes from the Lincoln Project, and it is a little bit more tongue-in-cheek. How many of you some of you may remember the series on Discovery Channel, Planet Earth, that was narrated by David Attenborough, the British broadcaster, who talked about in his thick British accent, not thick, but educated British accent, about the different species on planet Earth. And he spoke in this unusual sort of tone about different species and animals, and he called them by their scientific name. Well, the Lincoln Project just did that with their latest Trump ad. Watch.
The circle of life eventually closes on all things. For Impetus Americanus, the time for prowling will soon be at an end. It was to be his final hunt. His prey, older, weaker, unable to fight back. The best kind, or so he thought. But Impetus Americanus made a mistake. He is slow, he is lost. His imagined strengths are but weaknesses. And he's alone. His mate, his cubs, already eyeing new, greener lands. His pack is flimsy and overmatched. His lieutenants are weak and timid. The decades creak in his bones. The humiliations fester in every fold of soft, bloated skin. And as he rambles and wanders among the fields, no longer on the trail, he reeks of fear. He's afraid of the conflict, of what comes next. He starts to realize it is not his last hunt. Impetus Americanus is the hunted. He is the prey. The apex predator is approaching, preparing to devour him. It is Mother Nature's design that the circle of life eventually closes on all things. For Impetus Americanus, that circle is nearly complete.
The apex predator is coming. Impetus Americanus, his days are numbered. That was brilliant. Bravo to the Lincoln Project. For all the serious ads that are out there, sometimes we also need the funny ones, like the ones that are coming from the Lincoln Project.